Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. We're your boys. We always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Blaylock, and it is time to get excited for Arjun Nimmala. Man, this kid looks... I feel like we haven't had a kid, like a prospect like this, get me as hyped, get me as excited since Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And that is a very, I'm probably doing a disservice even making that comparison because the kid is still so young, so many years of development to go, so much baseball to still play. But what he's doing right now at the age of 19 is stunning everybody. We're going to break down what it is that he is doing right now, what the Toronto Blue Jays plans should be with him moving forward. Should they trade him at some point or should they hold on to him? But before we do, please make sure to hit that like, smash the subscribe button, and of course, let us know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. Now, this podcast is being prompted by something because my dude just won Player of the Week, man.
Yeah, Player of the Week over in the NWL. He popped off last week in 6 games. He went 9 for 25 with a double, with a triple, with 2 home runs, 6 runs scored, 6 RBIs, 4 walks, and even 2 stolen bases. Now, that's his bat. We know he's got a great bat. They're not highlighting it here, but he's also a great defender, too, at the shortstop position. So, Arjun Nimmala making waves down there, and it's not just a hot streak that he's on right now. He's been doing this all season long. In 40 games in high single A in Vancouver, he's got a batting average of 286 with an OPS of 908 and 9 home runs. That's the thing. When you look at this guy, he doesn't have the big body build. He's still 19 years old. Yeah. He's just fresh out of high school. But this guy's power is unreal, which makes me excited for when he does get into that, quote-unquote man body, what kind of power he could potentially have.
I mean, look, let's just be completely honest here. The dude looks skinny, right? He looks like a kid, right?
He's a kid.
Exactly. There's still lots of development to go. And that's a good thing, right? I'm not saying that as a bad thing. That's a good thing because what he's doing right now, having that power, getting that incredible contact, just goes to show that his fundamentals for the game of baseball, it's not built off of something that you're doing in the gym. It's his swing is just so natural. Complete. Exactly. It's natural power right there. And like you said, when he does mature, when he does get older, when he does eventually hit the gym, we know he all will. When he
probably still is.
He probably still is. You know what I mean? But you're going to obviously put on muscle as you get older. That power is just going to become easier and easier and easier. So honestly, a great spot for him to be right now in his development.
Yeah, again, you said off the top, literally 19 years old. What I was doing when I was 19? I was trying to go to the LCBO and get liquored up. this guy's actually being elite right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's made a whole lot of trips there, man.
Probably not. Well, he's in Vancouver if you really wanted to. But Arjun Nimmala, he's right now at the top of the Blue Jays prospect leaderboard. And as you can see right here, his ETA is still 2028. So you've got a lot of time still if you're the Blue Jays to develop him. This is a great, second step in his development, right? Because he's been in the minor leagues for a little bit. This is a great second step. Prove that you can handle the high single A pitching. The next step for him, honestly, is to go up to New Hampshire, go up to Double A, and see what you could do there. If you could start handling that level of competition, because that's where you start to see a real difference in the pitching within the minor league level. If you could start handling that, that's the next step. And the next step after that, for me, in my opinion, is the major leagues.
Yeah, pretty much, right? And I know that, what is it? Their prospect rankings. The prospect rankings, they have him at 2028. Adam and I have talked about it on stream before. If everything goes according to plan, if everything goes right, I believe you could see him as soon as 2027. Yeah. That is assuming, of course, he's fully healthy and he is, as you're saying, handling the Double A pitchers a ton. These guys can really skyrocket if, of course, they are ready for it, which, we will have to wait and see. All of this, though, has got Toronto Blue Jays fans feeling pretty hyped up, but it's also created the narrative that, wow, we have something of value down there in the prospect system, which for the last couple of years feels like it's definitely been lacking. And because this team is quote-unquote going all in, it's got people wondering, do you hold on to Arjun Nimmala, who will still take 2 to 3 years to fully develop to actually see the rewards for, or do you consider trading him right now, getting something to help push this team over the edge, getting something to help Vladdy right now, who is obviously on a $500 million deal.
Yeah, that's the question. It all depends on how you want to play it as a Toronto Blue Jays. First things first, the big roadblock in front of Arjun Nimmala is Bo Bichette, right? Like, you got to know what's happening with Bo Bichette. If Bo Bichette's staying here with the Toronto Blue Jays long term, well, then there's a little bit of a roadblock for Nimmala. Maybe you move him over to second, though. Maybe you start to transition him a little bit because he's early in his development. Maybe you get him up in that way. But obviously, this is the guy holding his position at the big league level. If Bo Bichette, after this season, if they decide to move on from him, well, then there's a clear road for Nimmala. However, like you're pointing to, we're not going to know that answer at the deadline, right? And if people are starting to call about Nimmala, well, then what do the Blue Jays do? For me personally, I think you do have to hang on to Nimmala a little bit longer. I wouldn't want to be shipping this guy off because even other teams don't really know how to value Nimmala right now. When you're looking at baseball trade values, this is a very just estimate of what kind of value they're putting on baseball players. They right now have a couple mock trades with Nimmala in it. Now, I would never do this if you're watching this on video platform. Volpe for Bichette, Mako, Rojas, Kasevich, Lopez.
No. Stupid trade created by a Yankees fan, obviously.
Just very, very bad. But you can see right here, like 19.7 is his value, in a couple of these trades, which would not even get you a Volpe apparently, or even an Alcantara that was in before this season.
Yeah, granted,
or
these
even
are
Mullins.
Yeah, like
right?
and these are done, or these evaluations were made, prior to him popping off. Like I think that last one was April 9th or something like that. So again, like stuff has changed since then. He's been proving that he is that guy. So I would imagine that value is going up. But to your point, I personally do think that you got to hold on to Nimmala, and like I never like to say that somebody's untouchable because I don't think that anybody's untouchable. If the Yankees did call and said, hey, here's Aaron Judge, give us Arjun Nimmala, well, there's Arjun Nimmala then. We'll take Aaron Judge, thank you very much. So nobody's untouchable, but the Toronto Blue Jays, like I said off the top of this show, have not had that exciting young prospect come up in years, right? Like the last one really was, Vladdy and Bo and Cav. I guess you could argue Alek Manoah, but he wasn't even nearly as hyped up as Arjun Nimmala is right now. This is somebody that could come in and help that second wave of Guerrero, right? Now, you paid for the second wave of Vladdy. You had the first era, didn't go as well as you would have hoped. Obviously, no playoff wins. Now you got to start planning for that second wave where Vladdy is supposed to be in his prime. Nimmala, if he were to come up and he was to be that dude, and now like kind of the Bo Bichette 2.0, well, you got a elite prospect on a super cheap deal that now you can help kind of build around. So for me, I mean, unless you are getting a steal of a deal, and unless the Toronto Blue Jays prove that they really deserve to go all in this year, which so far up until this point, I don't think that's been the case. We're a 500 ball team at best, right? So they got to show that they could actually win a World Series. If all that happens, maybe you consider it, but right now, I say you gotta hold on to this kid.
Hey guys, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only, must be 19 years older to participate, and guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content. Yeah, because for me right now, looking at all those values and honestly looking at what people would evaluate him as, what are you going to get for an Arjun Nimmala? Maybe you do get, like, there's some guys out there like Freddie Peralta, if, they were going to trade him off the Brewers. Like, yeah, very solid pitcher, ace level stuff to put in a rotation, but he's on a 1-year deal. Same thing right there. You had Cedric Mullins they were kind of comparing him to. You can get for it. Now that would be a bit of an overpay in my opinion, but that's right now the ballpark. You're getting like a 1-year, maybe a 2-year rental guy, and it's one piece on a roster to you're saying that still needs a lot of work. So for me, the reward isn't as sweet as what we're giving up right here.
That's the thing, right? Unless you are one piece away from actually seriously making a play at the World Series, and you know what? Maybe if the Toronto Blue Jays go 30-0 in June, my opinion will change, right? And they are one piece away from actually going all in. Then yeah, fine, you take that shot. But there's a lot of holes on this roster right now, and I don't think that trading Arjun Nimmala is going to fill all of those. So for me right now, I'm just so excited to see that we do finally have an elite level prospect who is performing. Still lots of time to go, but this is somebody that you can get excited about.
Him paired with Treyer Savage, that feels like the next wave of prospects coming up. And Treyer Savage is in the same boat as Nimmala right now. Like those guys, unless there's something great coming our way, I'm not touching that. I want to wait until next year to see where we're at once the Bo contract gets off the books, once the Bassett contract gets off the books. Let's wait and see before we start sending off our future.
100%. Folks, let us know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. Please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. $4 a month, become a YouTube member. Shout out and thank you to all of our current YouTube members. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
Go Jays, go!